It's the most wonderful time of the year. Minky Couture's holiday season is here. Wrap your loved ones in the gift of luxury with our softest, coziest blankets ever. Perfect for movie nights, chilly mornings, or those magical Christmas Eve moments. From kids to grandparents, there's a Minky for everyone. Shop our exclusive holiday collection now, in-store or online at minkycouture.com. But hurry, Santa's favorites won't last long. Minky Couture, making your holidays merry, bright, and oh so cozy.
And we are rolling.
Coming to you live from the Elliott Avenue Studios, this is The Barbershop. Brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail, the official auto detail provider of the Seattle Seahawks. And by the Trufant Family Foundation, an organization aimed at improving the community one kid at a time. With Marcus Trufant, here's T. Holla.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy T. Holla, right back here in the barbershop once again.
And yes, it's Marcus Trufant. What's up?
And we've been gone for a little bit. We are back in the mix. Tonight, we got a fun show for y'all. There's a new heavyweight champion of the world in the world of boxing, Andy Ruiz. How much does Drake have to do with him being a champion right now? We're going to talk about that tonight a little bit. And the NBA Finals is in full swing. We want to drop into that a little bit as well. A highly charged miniseries has dropped this past week on Netflix, How They See Us, and it's got the internet on fire. So, of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about that a little bit. And, of course, we're going to dip into some of the wild and wacky stories out there. Some blank stare news. We haven't done blank stare news here in a minute, True, so we might as well get into some blank stare news, man.
I'm ready, T. It's been a minute, man.
It's
been a good one.
It has been a minute. We took a week off for Memorial, and I want to talk about that a little bit, man, because, first of all, is there any blacker holiday than Memorial Day weekend? I mean, I was really trying to figure out, I know we love our holidays. We love Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We love Christmas. But something about Memorial Weekend, we take it a little bit. We take the next step with it, man.
Take advantage of it.
I don't know if I don't know if other races do it like we do. I mean, like I remember back in the day when I was a younger cat. You know, it was used to be like cats would go all out. Like it would be like trips across the country, to like spots in the place where lots of brothers be at.
Yeah.
Or if you're not able to make the trip, there's always the parties, you know, the all white party or the not all white people, by the way. Just make that clear. You know, people would come out with the all white clothes and all different kind of stuff, man.
Well, yeah, I just know as far as that part of it, as far as the kicking it side of it, I think we do stretch it, as far as we can go. And, of course, with the barbecues, and it's always been like that for me. It's always a barbecue. I know we did it live this go-around.
Yes, I saw.
I brought T-Town to Bellevue, and that's always a good look for me. And my neighbors been cool, actually.
So that was how your neighbors were with all that.
My neighbors was cool, man, and we did it food, played a little hoop out there. Of course, I'm down right now, so you know what I'm saying? I'm on the IR.
I was about to say, you was on spectator when it came to the hoop this time.
Yep, and we did a little bouncy house for the kids and all the way around, man. So it was a good look, man, and family and fellowship is what I'm about. Especially nowadays, because it's crazy out here, man. So you got to love your cherish your loved ones.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I want to say also, man, first of all, we did a little barbecue at my house. Shout out to True, first of all. I appreciate you. You did send me the invite.
I did, yeah, because I knew you
sent me the invite at the last minute, though. It was funny, though. Like, True sent me the invite. It's like, yo, you guys want to come through? I'm bringing T-Town to Bellevue, and we going to do it big. And I would have came. But when you hit me, I was literally in the store buying supplies for a barbecue.
I remember the screenshot. Yeah, I can't remember what type of swine you had on there, but
I didn't personally do the swine this time. I went all beef. But now, the thing was, my kids play basketball. It's AAU, and usually there's a big AAU tournament on Memorial Weekend. There's lots of them around the state and around the country, and we had signed up for one. Our team had signed up for one. And the coach had made mention like, yo, make sure you don't have anything going on Memorial Weekend. We have games, we have tournaments. We want to make sure everybody's available, blah, 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 all this good stuff. Man, like last minute, he was like, yeah, tournament's canceled. Nothing, sorry. So we were stuck. And then I was like, what do we do now? So 24 hours, we put together a barbecue at the house, the Holloman house, and invited some folks over.
Right.
And that's the other thing about black folks, man. So I invited my boy. I was like, yo, man, I'd like to have a few people over to the house for the barbecue. You and your folks are invited. And he's like, should I bring my DJ equipment?
Just like black folks.
No.
So yeah, it turned into a function, man, and we had a good time out there in Snohomish. Like you said, man, cherish your family and friends, and take everything in moderation, man. Don't go so crazy like we like to do sometimes on Memorial Weekend.
I think we should plan it and do it at your spot next time, T. I
We
saw
gonna
the
have a party.
acreage, man. I seen the acreage. We could do a lot with that, man.
Yeah, it's lots of green, man. We could do something. We'll talk about it off air, man. Maybe bring something to Snohomish.
You quit being stingy. Quit being stingy.
We can bring T-Town to Snohomish. I don't know if Snohomish is ready for it, though, man.
Right.
I got to tell you something else that happened this past weekend. Not all the way back to Memorial Weekend, but this past weekend, true. And it's something that I was a part of that I'm so excited about right now and I'm proud of, man. I want to give you a little background story about it first.
Okay, all right.
So I got a phone call from a young man on Thursday, an associate of ours, and he was like, T, man, I need your help, man. I'm Walter Jones, the Seattle Seahawks legend, the Hall of Famer, was supposed to be a part of this event, and he had something come up where he was not going to be able to attend. He's going to be out of town, and it's a lip sync contest, and we have judges and all this stuff, right? And it was for this foundation that the Seahawks general manager and the president were involved heavily in, Chuck Arnold and John Snyder. So,
Wow, all right.
yeah, so I was like, okay, no problem. I'll go out there and help and fill in for Walter and judge and do my thing, whatever. So he's like, cool, thank you, appreciate it. I'll send you an email quickly. Yeah, okay. So I go home and I check my email. And the event, I get the email on Thursday. I agreed to do this thing on Thursday. And it's on Friday.
Okay.
So I get the email Thursday evening, and it's asking me which song do I want to lip sync to.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Did you know what you was getting yourself into?
That's my point. No, I thought I
Okay.
was going to be a judge or an MC or a host. I thought there's no way in the hell I'm going to be part of a lip sync contest.
Right.
I haven't practiced. I've never done lip sync. What do I know about lip sync?
Right.
So
So what day was this? This was Friday night. Okay.
Friday night, right? So I'm like, and at this point I'm like, I can't back out. I can't be the guy that flakes on,
Right.
Chuck Arnold and John
Right.
Schneider and the whole crew and this
Right.
whole foundation.
Unless you Walt Jones, then you can.
Then you can't, exactly. If you Hall of Fame, you got to go, Jack. You can do what you want.
Yeah, all right.
So I tell him, I'm like, okay, I'll do Billie Jean, Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. And I knew I had another event going on, like right around the corner. So they were like, we'll make sure you get back and forth, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And I'm thinking, okay, I'll go out there. I'll do a little Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. It's going to be just a little promo. I'll be just the people will laugh, ha, 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 kee.
Right.
And then the real competitors will go,
Look
right?
at Terry. Look at Terry.
Ha, ha,
Yeah,
ha,
right.
hee, hee, hee. And then, and then the real competitors will come on and then they'll start the judging or whatever, right?
Right.
No, I'm part of the competition.
Okay.
I get there, and these folks are serious about that, man. But first of all, it was John Clayton from
Okay.
ESPN.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the first guy up there. He did the James Brown. Yeah.
Ooh.
Then they had some Seagulls, man, some Seahawks cheerleaders.
Okay.
And they did a real heavy routine, like coordinated, choreographed, all that stuff.
To what song?
Props. Don't make me lie to you.
Probably did some,
it was something. It was something. Put it like this. I couldn't. pay
CC or somebody, they do CC?
It was something funky. It might have been, or
Okay.
whatever. But so, I'm gonna tell you why I don't remember. Because I was legit backstage, scared to death.
Sweating
I was
bullets.
nervous. I was like, first of all, I haven't even listened to the song. I hadn't listened to Billie Jean in years. I didn't listen to it last week.
Right.
I just, I was like, oh. When I'm in the spotlight, and so then I get out there and I do this routine. Everybody's like, just whatever you do, just be over the top, all this other stuff.
Just
right?
keep your mouth moving,
just
right?
keep your lips moving and just be over the top, right? They say they told me you want to win, do a bunch of pelvic thrusts,
Right.
and you'll win. I was like, all right.
Do your thing, T. Thrust at the crowd, right? Let them know you here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, really long story short, I get out there and I'm doing the Michael Jackson. I did the moonwalk. I did the leg
What?
kicks. Yeah, I did
The
it.
kind of shoes you heard on.
I stuck. I got scared for a second. 'Cause I was like, if I get stuck and fall, it's gonna be a wrap.
I know you ain't had no hard bottoms on, or did you?
I had some like sticky bottoms. That's what I'm
All
trying
right.
to tell you. It was like they were like the They're like the leather type, dressy kind of sporty shoes, kind of like the ones that Cam Chancellor makes now.
Okay.
Shout
out to Cam Chancellor, his shoe line.
Yeah, exactly. So I did that, right? And then here's one of the morals of the story I'm trying to get at, and I'm going to end, is that I did about 2.5 minutes of dancing and pretending to sing, all right? It gave me an entirely new perspective on our entertainers like Michael Jackson and Beyonce and the people that really get out there and do this thing. Because I'm about to pass out, man.
And that 2.5 probably felt more like 10, really. 20,
boy,
probably, when all the lights is on and you up there shiny and
exactly. And so, you know how Michael Jackson moves. So I'm up there kicking and swinging and playing. When I got finished, man, I was so happy that the host, the MC, did not ask me no questions. And I thought she was going to come over and ask me some questions because I couldn't have spoke. I was breathing hard. I was trying to play. Oh, yeah.
Did you work the stage? Like left,
I worked
right?
the whole stage.
Middle?
Everything. Pointing to the crowd, dancing, hunching.
Everybody. You was showing out. You was real mannish that night.
I was showing out because I was like, I'm going to put on a show, then I got to leave, right? I want to make sure they remember T. Holla. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I left, went to the other event. And I'm over there. It's a poker event.
Right.
Hanging out. Shout out to John Howie. And, bro, like 2 hours later, phone started blowing up. T, you won.
Get out of here. Come on.
Oh, hell no.
Come on.
Bro, listen, you are looking at the WLSC. I'm the world lip sync champion of the universe, true, right now. And it's a real belt, like a championship belt. I got to go collect it, and I'm going to walk. Listen, for the next 364 plus days, I'm going to walk around wearing the belt.
You should have brought it with you. We could have got a picture, man. I give you mad respect for that, though. That's
one day.
That's pretty heavy, man.
I'm thinking next year, so I supposedly I got to defend the title, so I might want to bring you.
You freestyle is what you're saying. You just, I'm talking no practice, and everybody else who did it, all they practice and all they rehearsals, the Seagulls that's known for doing routines, all that didn't matter as long as you had the T-Holla thrust to the crowd.
That's right. That's a new thing. We should coin that, the T-Holla thrust.
All right.
We got a T-Holla thrust. Next year, I'm gonna include you. You're going to help me choreograph some stuff and maybe make a special appearance?
I just might, man. I can't bring my kids. You got to put PG on that then if you're doing the T-Holla pelvic thrust to the masses.
Just cover their eyes, man. They'll be all right, I promise you, man. Hey, it was a fun week, man, but we are back in the barbershop. Lots of good things have been happening out there in the world for us to talk about. We are deep into the NBA Finals right now. True Golden State Warriors, Toronto Raptors, they're now locked at 1-1 as we stand today recording this show in the series of 7. They've been playing without KD, man. Mm-hmm. The Golden State Warriors have been playing without KD. It looked like it kind of hurt them in the first game. The second game, these guys came back. You know this basketball thing. I know you pay a lot more attention to it than I do, man. What do you think about this series right now? What do you think about the prognosis of Golden State without Kevin Durant? And what are they looking like right now?
I liked them in the last series of what they looked like the last couple games when KD wasn't there. I thought they was flowing and going. I think the tempo picked up. Everybody got a few more touches, of course, with KD. Not that it's a bad thing, but they did a lot of ISO ball with KD. So I'm from, I was taught, of course, I used to play point guard. So, you know what I'm saying? I used to be, the drive and dish dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm heavy on defense. I want to run the fast break. So I like to see guys like Draymond out there pushing it and really making stuff happen. It's a different style of ball than the ISO ball. You got guys like James Harden, and you, of course, got all the respect for him in the world. I'm just not a fan of that type of ball. So when I see the Golden State Warriors playing good like this, it's fun to watch. And I think in the first game of this series, I think they were just a little rusty, I think, from the layoff. And actually, it's hard for me to choose exactly who I'm rooting for because I like the way both of these teams play. I love the way Kawhi plays. He's very efficient, doesn't get rattled. And I think this series is going to go the distance, of course, but it's going to be a lot of good basketball to watch.
It is a lot of good basketball to watch, but going back to Kevin Durant and his impact on the Golden State Warriors and the impact of not having him on that squad, don't you feel like there's kind of, even though it's a different kind of ball, and they're getting away from that ISO ball, don't you think he just adds an element with everything that he brings to the game? Like he's a hard person to defend. Right now he has a complete game. Like he's long enough to play inside. He can make that outside shot, and he's good on some of the bigger defenders that Toronto. I mean, good on defense to some of the bigger offensive scorers that they have for the Raptors, and that's missing. And it doesn't look like he's coming back.
I think, of course, a KD is a matchup problem for anybody in the league. I mean, he's pretty much 7 foot. And he could dribble, and he can move around like a point guard. So they're not really making guys like that. So, damn.
That's true. Kevin calling you, right? Thank you, True, for hollering at me. Yeah, appreciate that.
But, yeah, man, KD is definitely a matchup problem, and he's and I think they're lying. I want to backtrack about his injury. I'm walking around in the boot now. Yeah, I didn't move to 50% weight bearing, so props to me and following the doctor's order and all that. So I got rid of my knee scooter and all that, so I'm walking around. But KD, man, the way it looked, of course, it looks like a Achilles tendon, and I'm not exactly sure how or when or if he's going to come back, but it looks like he's walking around good. They showed him in the back. I guess after the game, him and his boy Clay, they was both injured. So
yes, Clay.
I don't know if he's moving around like that. Maybe he doesn't have a torn Achilles. Maybe it just is a calf strain, like they're saying. But I'd love to see him come back. I think he just gives them. I think he makes it unfair.
It's completely unfair. It's
KD's like that cheat code. KD's the cheat code, but I think it's more even now. But I think it's really fun to watch.
So let's ask this $1 million question and then kind of move on from this. Thinking about the impact that KD has had on his team, not just this season, but all the seasons that he's been playing with these guys. It's beforehand, it was, the Splash Brothers. It was Clay and it was Steph. You had the big guy, Draymond, doing his thing when he had to. And then they added KD and it was the cheat code. Now they're looking at the situation where they haven't had him for a few weeks now, and they've shown that they can win without KD.
Right.
And the conversation has been going on out there that maybe KD is unnecessary. And maybe KD is sitting on the sideline right now feeling like, a certain kind of way because his team is going on and been able to make it to the finals without his production. So what do you think happens to KD moving forward after the season, regardless of what happens? Like, does he stick around? Does he stay? Do they need him? Do they pay him? Is he going to be a Golden State Warrior?
I think in a perfect world, I think he stays. And if you listen to him in his interviews, he's saying that the negative ones out there is saying that it's something to this KD thing, and KD may not really want to be there. But at the end of the day, it probably always comes down to money. But I think in a perfect world, I think they do want a KD on their team. Of course you do, because he gives you that edge. And I think it works for him. And I don't think there's a bunch of ego. If you're talking about anybody, it may be Klay Thompson, because he's a baller, but with KD on the floor, it takes away from him, I think. And even though they can all live together on the court, but it takes away from Klay a little bit. But I love Klay, and I love his energy, but he could be down, I don't know for how long, so we got to talk about Andre Iguodala. I like his game. Can't really shoot, can't really do it like that, but gets it done, makes it happen on the defense, and he be throwing dimes out there. I like him. He kind of remind me of myself. Kind of game look real nasty, but he gets it done, so I like it.
Hell no, hell no.
I like it. I love it, as a matter of fact.
All right, well, the guy, they're sitting at 1-1 right now. Toronto's got one game. Golden State has one game. They're moving back to Golden State right now, and there's a lot of outside interference that's been happening in this series so far, and I kind of want to talk to you about it tonight. And it's Drake. It's Drake. It's the Canadian man lover, champagne poppy.
From the six.
Yeah. Drake, man. Drake has become, he's a super fan is what they're calling him, right? But he's become a spectacle and a part of this Toronto Raptors organization, and the whole spectacle that's going on has become an entirely different thing on its own. And for those of you that haven't been paying attention and don't know who Drake is, first of all, I don't know how anybody out there wouldn't know who Drake is. He's the most, he's the highest decorated, most famous pop stars. I'm going to call him pop stars, even though he's kind of hip-hop.
to the producer Reese, because last time he was in here, he tried to say something like Drake was better than Jay-Z. I think,
he did.
Right?
Yeah, he did. And, that's we can't talk about Reese.
Mad disrespectful, but yeah.
But no, here's the thing though. He does have a lot of hits over the past decade. He has probably more hits than anybody in the last decade for sure. But he's made himself a part of this Toronto Raptors organization. And you see him, he's always courtside at their games, right? Not only is he courtside, though, but he injects himself into the game where he's talking to the players on the bench, celebrating with them, chastising and getting in the face of opposing teams, players. He got into a little beef with Draymond Green at the end of game one. Seemed like it looked like he was calling him trash to his face. And I think also in game one, he spilled his drink all on the court. He spilled his drink on the court, tried to clean it up and all kind of stuff. And then he went so far as to, I don't know if you saw this, Drew, where he was rubbing the coach's shoulders.
I did see that, yeah.
Like, what part of the game is that, man?
Well, I want to get some clarity first before I make any comments. Does Drake have any stake ownership in the Raptors? I heard some rumors that not is he's not just an ambassador, but he is a part of the business of the organization.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll be quite honest with you. I don't know, but I would venture to say he doesn't, because I would think, being a rapper, as rappers are, they're boastful. They like to let people know when they own stuff, when they have stuff that other people don't have.
Right.
Like when Jay-Z owned part of the Brooklyn Nets, he was always talking about, I own the Nets.
Mm-hmm.
He owned like 3%.
Right, if that.
Yeah. So I would think he was let be known, but so that would make a difference for you.
Well, I guess I just want to know, because if not, it's cool, it's good. I think what Drake is doing is trying to put himself in the history books of the people like the Spike Lees and those guys that are on the sidelines. Jack Nicholas is son. Or,
I always get that messed up. Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson for the Lakers and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's what Drake is doing, and that's cool, and it's okay. And I don't think it bothers the players too much. I think it bothers the fans probably more, people of the opposing team, probably Warriors fans. They're probably not real fan of that, and they may say it's corny and this and that. He's overdoing it, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. No,
yeah,
maybe, but it's not everybody's flavor. But if you say Drake, that's Drake-ish to do that, the type of move, to be overly animated, to do over the top and really get
in the mix,
put his emotions in it, because he's like no,
right?
I wasn't gonna say that he's emotional, but he's really inserting himself into the game, and I don't really see a whole lot wrong with that. I think it brings a lot of light to the sport. It brings more fans. It adds a little piece of excitement. It adds a little bit of everything. So I think it's a good look, and people are having fun with it. After they lost the last game, I seen a meme, and they put Pusha T's face on the dude that was sitting next to him, and they had it looking right at Drake. I'm going to have to bring that up on social afterwards. But I thought that was pretty funny.
Wait. He had the Pusha T.
Yeah. Somebody inserted Pusha T's face on the man that was sitting next to him. I don't know who it was, but of course, Drake, the Raptors lost, so Drake had the sad face, and they had Pusha T looking at him. And we all know what happened with Drake and Pusha T.
Oh, yeah, that little battle, man. So those of you who don't know, they had a little beef and battle.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty, but yeah. I'm going to tell you like this, True, and I am actually, for the first time in a long time on this show, torn. Like I'm on the fence, and it's normally the true front position to be on the fence, right?
Side of the fence, baby.
That's right.
PC.
But here's the difference, though. I mean, my straddling the fence on this situation is weird, because it's not like I kind of feel one way or kind of feel the other way. When I'm straddling the fence this time, I feel really strongly this way and really strongly the other way, and it's weird for me, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Number one, I feel like, okay, this is corny. This is corny. You're inserting yourself into this sporting event. You're not an athlete. You've never been an athlete. Far as I know, I've never known Drake to be like a baller,
right?
None of that stuff, and that engaged in hoops or anything like that. For one, for two, he's like a bandwagon fan to me sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like from what I understand is he has a Golden State Warrior tattoo on his arm that he had to cover up with a wristband.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's what the wristband was for. I thought that was just a little
He was feeling sporty.
swag, a little. To make sure his jump shot was right.
Hip hop, yeah. No, so yes, no. I was like, no, it's corny. Like, you know, when you see somebody just doing the most, like, I don't know. Have you ever seen the movie Above the Rim?
Absolutely.
So I think he's trying to be like Tupac, like Birdie. Like he runs the organization. Like he's calling shots. Like I'm talking to the players. I'm telling them what to do. I'm over here getting in the opposing team's mix. I'm Birdie. I'm Pac.
You know what I thought you was gonna say?
What?
I thought you was gonna say he's gonna be like Marlon Wayans and have like all that extra and be talking all this, ain't got no game. Yeah. But yeah, I think he came dressed like Birdie one game, right?
He did.
Yeah,
like the exact same.
And I get it
sweatshirt.
though. I mean, it's corny and it's different, but what can you? I mean, if that's the type of energy that somebody puts off, that's what they do, and it's pop culture. It's popular, so I'm not mad at it.
And that's where I go when I say when I'm straddling the fence. I can go to the complete polar opposite of that and say, do your thing, Drake.
Right.
Like, represent your city, represent your country.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
Like, I lived in Canada, right? And, it's not a whole bunch of things that you can be like, Canada, we rocking the rest of the world when it comes to this, except for maybe hockey. You know what I'm saying? Like, Drake is right now running the thing in hip hop or
the
pop
king of the
music.
North.
Right, he's the king of the North.
Yeah.
And his home city, his home country is really doing it thing. So ride out with him, bang out with him, represent, go all the way in. So I feel that on one extent, but on the other end, I just want to say, man, sit your ass down.
Does he have to do it like he's doing it though?
Yeah.
Can he be cool? Can he be chill? Because last series, what was it? Gucci Mane was in the crowd.
I saw E40. I didn't see Gucci. Maybe Gucci was there too.
Gucci, I think he was there from Milwaukee series. So he was in the crowd and he wasn't like all
in the mix,
flamboyant and loud and talking trash to the players, et cetera, but everybody's different. Everybody got different flavor, and like I said, if you Drake and you're Drake-ish, that's just what you bring to the table.
Yeah, I hear you. But you know what's crazy though? So last night in Game 2, Drake was actually overshadowed. There was a bigger celebrity in the house in Toronto, Canada, than Drake. Now you would think that there's no way in the hell who in the world could be a bigger star in Toronto, in Canada, than its own son, Drake. And it was Barack. Barack Obama came through and shut it down. And I saw the video, man, and I saw him walking through, like the locker room, like the hallway back there with his whole, the whole Secret Service and all the guards and all that stuff. He had his little leather coat on.
The leathers. The leathers.
He's still rocking that leather coat, man. And, and I saw the way, so they introduced him at the game, and the Canadians lost their minds, man. They loved some Barack Obama. They chanted his name, and they even said MVP. Yeah, they said MVP. Okay. MVP. And it was good to see, man, just, for once in a long time. It's been a long time since we've seen someone in our politics, in our government, get that kind of response, especially in a different country.
Right.
And it's good to see people have that kind of respect for him, man. So shout out to Mr. Obama, man. Appreciate you for coming out and supporting the NBA and showing your face, giving us a little bit of hope, you know what I'm talking about. But Drake, going back to Drake, though, I want to talk about this, and it leads into my next subject. He's been hanging out with a professional boxer. He hung out with a lot of people, right? And there's a lot of controversy going around talking about the Drake curse. And let me explain it to you for those you don't know. As we've been talking about just now, Drake is a super fan. And he tends to bounce from team to team, from athlete to athlete.
Sport to sport.
Yeah, sport to sport, man. Supporting different people. But the challenge is that a lot of the people that he's been associated with have just kind of fallen off, like immediately after being associated with Drake. And I'll tell you what I mean here. I'll give you a couple examples. Like, he used to be a super Alabama football fan, right? So earlier this year, Drake took a video of himself wearing an Alabama sweatshirt and posted it on Instagram. And, Coach Nick Saban down there in Alabama, they were getting ready to take on Clemson in the national championship. And everybody knows Alabama's football team has been a juggernaut. They win national championships every year. But after Drake posted the video of him wearing the Alabama shirt, they got their brains beat in by Clemson, 44-16, right? So that's strike one. That's
Shame.
one. That's one.
Shame.
A little while back, Drake was right by Conor McGregor's side when he was doing a weigh-in for this big UFC 229 fight. And, everybody was, Conor McGregor was unbeatable back then. And Drake was on stage waving the Irish flag, man.
Come on.
He was waving the flag. And right after that, Conor McGregor took the beat down of his life, whatever the dude's name, Khabib Nurmagomedov or whatever. He beat the brakes off of him. So that's another one. I don't know if you recall, he used to be a big Kentucky fan.
Yep, do remember that. I mean, he came on the court, shot an air ball one time.
Exactly. And since that day, Kentucky has not been in the mix when it comes to the Final Four, the Sweet 16. They're not. If you catch what I'm saying. So they're saying the Drake curse is real.
Right.
And so just most recently, this past weekend, I don't know if you saw this, but there was the heavyweight championship boxing match. Andy Ruiz, the Mexican-American heavyweight boxer, took on Joshua.
Anthony Joshua. Yeah.
And beforehand, Anthony Joshua took a picture with Drake at ringside at one of his practices.
Yep.
And he posted it and said something mess like, about to break this Drake curse.
June 1st. Hashtag. Yep. Looking at it right now.
And guess what happened? He gets beat in the 7th round, TKO. He's done. It's over. It's a wrap. Andy Ruiz becomes the first Mexican heavyweight boxer in history. True. What do you make of the Drake curse?
Well, first I want to put a disclaimer out there because I've been saying Drake-ish and like this is Drake style, and I don't want to come off as a hater. So yeah. I never want to sound like that. And Drake, I mean, he has the access that everybody wants. Drake is, Drake is the guy. So I'll say that. But what I make of the Drake curse, again,
keep it 100, man. It's the Barbershop.
It's just Drake-ish, man. It's just Drake-ish when you get involved with all these teams. I don't know if he's really truly fans of these teams or if he's just kind of riding the wave of the popular stuff. Not that he's bandwagon, but he has all this access and he just likes to be involved. He likes to be seen. There's nothing wrong with that, though, because Drake in his position, this is what he has to do, be on social, be out there, be seen by everybody, and that's what he's doing. But it's maybe getting a little overdone. Maybe you're spreading yourself too thin.
Yeah.
And you find a couple players that you like and you do it like that. But everybody that's a champ, everybody that's going to the championship, if they got Drake in their corner, it could be a little watered down.
Listen, so I'm going to tell you like this, and I alluded to it earlier in this conversation about being a Canadian, living in Canada as I did as a young man. My dad played football up there for a number of years when I was a kid. And so being an American I was born in the United States, my entire family lived in the United States. I moved up to Canada when I was like 4. And you kind of want to, you want to have ties to the United States because there's not a lot. Like I said, there's not a lot going on for a young black African-American kid in Canada unless you really get into like snowboarding and skiing and hockey and curling and all them kind of stuff, right? So you try to attach yourself and learn as much about what's going on down here as possible. So, that's where I learned, because I didn't have a professional basketball team to support in Canada. So I would watch the Lakers, and then I would watch the Bulls. I would watch whoever was good because I didn't have any ties to any particular team. I watched the colleges down here, and I didn't really have any ties to any particular college except for the ones that like my dad went to, and we weren't watching Arkansas State on TV.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I'm trying to understand Drake and his attachment to all these different players and teams and whatnot, and maybe that's it. But that being said, it still doesn't explain why these people end up losing immediately after becoming, tied up with Drake. And
So
go ahead.
So you saying Drake is really putting the root,
Yeah,
on these teams, on these players, just by the Drake energy, just by the Drake-ish style of, of living.
Yep.
The Drake energy, or what are you saying, T?
Yep. He got energy. Got a lot of energy.
Juju.
He got some bad. I don't want to call it bad juju. I just think that maybe, because he is. Here's the thing. You tell me if I'm wrong. Just from an outsider's perspective looking in. A lot of times you see professional athletes that want to be entertainers, and you have entertainers that want to be athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Did you ever notice that?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe that's part of what's happening. You see Drake trying to be a part of these people's lives and jumping into their profession and their wheelhouse and where they go to work at, right? And these athletes are now like, hey, I want to be a part of Drake's life and do what Drake does and live his life or whatever. I'm just speculating right now.
Right.
But you can't do that as an athlete, man. You can't live like Drake if you're an athlete, man.
Right. Drake is at a level that I think a lot of us want to get to. So overall, I think it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with it. I poke fun at it, and I make jokes about it, but I think it's good. I mean, he's out, and this is what he does. Drake obviously knows everyone that's doing everything, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Drake is who we all want to be.
Yeah, light-skinned and rich. Yeah,
you want to be Drake, T.
I kind of want to be Drake.
And you lived in Canada.
Don't put that on me, man. I don't want to be Drake. I would want to be T. Holla with Drake's bank account.
And then you just did the dance contest, the lip sync. So you getting closer and closer, bruh.
You might be owed to something. True.
You got the belt?
We might have to visit this later on. I got the belt, and I'm going to be rocking it from now on. If the Sonics come back, I'm going to be courtside with my WLSC World Lip Sync Championship belt, fronting it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see, man. We'll see what happens with the Raptors, if the Drake curse is going to affect them. Obviously, like we talked about, it affected Anthony Joshua, who was, we were looking forward to him probably later on this year fighting Deontay Wilder, which was going to be the big payday. But he got beat by Andy Ruiz. I want to talk about that real quick because no one really gave this Andy Ruiz guy a chance. There was no way this guy was going to beat him. Have you ever seen Andy Ruiz standing next to Anthony Joshua? I mean, and here's what they were saying. It's what all the critics were saying. Like, this guy, he's not ready. He's just be honest with you. He's fat. He's a chubby, big fat guy. And you look at him standing next to Anthony Joshua, who looks like a Greek god. He's chiseled, in great shape, one of the best boxers in the world. There's no way this guy stands a chance. And he proved everyone wrong. He proved all the doubters wrong, and he became the first Mexican heavyweight boxer in history. Shout out to La Raza. They stepped up big this weekend, man. So I don't know if you saw the fight or saw any of the highlights, man. What do you take away from it?
Well, yeah, first of all, somebody on Aunt Joshua's team owe a lot of people some money, not from the Vegas bets, but all the fight parties that went on, man. I went out and got food, and people took their time driving to the house, man, had the spread laid out, and this, man.
Yeah.
And then before you know it,
he laid out. How many times? He went down 4 times?
But it was just nasty to watch. I know he smacked him early.
Mm-hmm.
He smacked him early. And then it looked like he was winded to me. And I don't know if he got hit and it made him look like he was winded or if he was out of shape. He didn't look out of shape, but it just was a nasty showing. A little bit of the rope-a-dope style of feel. He's all over the rope getting smacked in the back of the head. I think that's what hurt him too. But it was just he didn't look his best.
He did not look
And your boy showed up and he threw a lot of punches. So you got to give him credit where credit's due. They say that a puncher always got a chance. So I think that's what happened. I think he hit him with some good shots that he didn't expect to get hit with. And that was the tail of the fight, man.
Flat out, I just think that he wasn't prepared. He took the fight too lightly.
You think so?
I don't think he was prepared.
Mentally.
Man. Mentally or physically.
Mentally.
I think he probably didn't. I mean, and here's the thing I want to get to. Even though his body looked in shape and good to go,
right?
I don't think that. I mean, there's people who look good but can't perform good. And look, here's an example. A couple days ago, I was out there lip syncing and dancing. Look, I've been on the treadmill. I've been getting in shape, man. I don't know if you can tell, man, but
I see you, T.
I dropped some LBs, man. I'm feeling good. I go on the treadmill for an hour, man. I'm good.
All right.
Look good. I got out there, man, and almost passed out. So
hey.
Just because you look good don't mean you're ready. And on the flip side of that, true, is you look at your boy Andy Ruiz, right? The 100% dad bod. He's bringing the dad bod back.
Yeah.
You know, the big, chubby gut, kind of flabby-looking arms, don't look like he would be able to do much of anything, right?
Pear body, or they call it a.
He ain't even got a pear body. He got an amoeba body. He's like a big giant bacteria.
Oh, nah.
No, I mean no disrespect,
right.
man. Because it is what it is. He's a professional fighter. Here's the point I'm getting at. I saw him train, bro. He was getting it in. Like,
he's getting busy,
footwork, he was on the ladder. He go the ladder forward, then backwards, then forward again, then over the hurdles, back and forth, fast feet, chopping his feet. I was like, he's in shape. Like, he can go. I mean, like, don't let the fat body fool you.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I mean, it's a good look. It's good for us to have, like I said, the first Mexican heavyweight boxer in history. You normally see those guys down at the featherweight and the flyweight,
right?
Just running around the ring, throwing bees, stinging you. But this dude was throwing some power punches, man. And then the reason why he's champ now is because of Drake.
I mean, it's gonna be
because
of Drake. Drake did it.
It's all Drake's fault, man. So it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, the heavyweight ranks are kind of up in arms now. He's got to be in the mix when you're talking about Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. We'll see what happens, True?
Yeah, we'll see, man. It's going to be interesting.
Hey, there's another story I wanted to talk to you about, man. And, it's a story that's been kind of dragging around since 1989. And they actually made a miniseries about it on Netflix, and it's been setting the world on fire for the last few days, man. I actually sat down and watched all 4 episodes of it, and it's over 4 hours worth of watching, but it just had me so engrossed and so dialed in and so plugged in that I couldn't break away from the TV. It's called How They See Us, and it's the story of the Central Park Five, which is a group of black and brown teenage boys, 5 of them, in New York City back in 1989, and they were all between the ages of 14 and 16, and they were arrested, charged, and found guilty of beating and raping a white woman in Central Park. Even though they vehemently proclaimed their innocence from the very beginning, it appears some confessions were coerced or taken from them illegally, but they spent years of their youth, years of their childhood behind bars, behind prison bars, before actual DNA evidence really cleared them years later. But the whole miniseries really brought to life the actual stories that were behind the headlines, and it was the pain and the devastation that was unleashed on these kids and their families. And I want to talk a little bit about it today. I know you just started watching it, but I kind of wanted to get what you were taking from it so far. But like I said, the whole entire internet has been on fire about this story. Has people emotionally charged, people talking about their cry all the way through the movie,
right?
Being enraged all the way through the movie. Just one episode in, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, for me, it was one of those things, and I'm usually not like this. I can watch anything, and I can keep a cool head. I can kind of keep everything together. But for some reason, watching this, I felt like I needed a break. I mean, I felt like I couldn't go to the next one. It was just a lot of stuff that went on in that first episode that almost felt like it was too much. And I think with what's everything that's going on in the world now, it kind of just brought all that to life. I mean, that it was going on back then too. I know that so much stuff has been going on for years, but with everything that's going on now, and then you add that to this story and the racial tensions and all that kind of stuff that comes with this, and just the age of the boys and everything. And I know we both got sons, and I was a part of it too. So it was just one of those things, man. It was tough for me. And then just how these boys was affected and how they grouped them together, and just the corruption of the police. And like I said, everything that's going on now, it just brought up all those emotions. There's people getting shot by the police left and right, and all this other stuff that was going on. So for me, I could probably say for the first time, I felt like, I had to step away from the TV. I had to take a break, and it was too much for me, man. And,
That's heavy.
Yeah.
That is heavy.
Tough,
and it's completely understandable, and a lot of people feel the same way. As a matter of fact, last night when I reached out to both you and our producer, Reese, saying, this documentary or this miniseries is just incredible, man. Let's dial into it. Let's talk about it. And Reese, who is, he's very outspoken when it comes to these type of things. He has, a lot of opinions. He's very passionate about these type of issues, man. He almost was like, I almost refused to watch it.
Right.
And saying that, it's a version of reliving trauma. And we seem to always have to, as African Americans, relive our trauma on a daily basis without really having any remedy for it. And,
Right.
We went back and forth about it, and I was just like, no, let's talk about it on the air, man. But I do understand, like, we do have to live through these traumas, and we turn it into entertainment, at times like this. But to me, it's more than entertainment, because I look at it like this. I remember this story from 1989. I was dialed in back then because these kids were around my same age. Right. And so I remember it being on the news, even though I was nowhere near New York City, this was something that was a major news story. Racial tensions were at a high back then. And what I want people to understand is that, a lot of times we start talking about race in this country and the stereotypes and the institutionalized racism and all that crazy stuff. We think that it was ancient history, man. This was 1989.
Right.
Man. This is not a long time ago. This is in my lifetime. This is not my parents' issue
Right.
or my grandparents' issue.
Yeah.
These are the kids that they had high top phase like I had.
Right.
These are the guys listening to Eric B. and Rakim and Big Daddy Kane like I was doing, right? And I'm gonna do my best not to drop any spoilers about the show if you have not seen it. But again, you have a situation where you have underaged boys, and I do want to stress that these were boys. 14 and 15-year-old boys who were interrogated for hours and hours, 48 hours without food breaks, drink breaks, bathroom breaks, that didn't even know each other. These are kids that were in the park that really, they weren't together.
Right.
They didn't know each other prior to this, and they were coerced into making these statements, under the guise that they were going to be let free. If you tell us what we want to know about these other people, we'll let you free. And they ended up spending years of their lives in the penitentiary. And we got a chance to see how the system affects not only the person that's incarcerated, but the entire family and the entire network that these young men had. Like, when your son goes to jail, and again, that's part of what I was feeling, and I don't want to spoil anything for you, True, but like, you think of if your son right now was sent to prison,
right,
and you did not have the ability or the wherewithal to keep him out of that situation, or to protect him, or to make sure that he had the proper legal advice to do what he needed to do,
right,
that will affect you as a man.
Absolutely.
That will destroy you, right?
You feel helpless.
Yeah. And then that just kind of it bleeds its way into your entire family, your entire life. Like in this movie, you saw how a young man's grandmother was completely affected by not having her grandson there and not being able to help him because there was a language barrier. She
Right.
didn't understand what the police were doing at the time that they were doing it to her grandson.
Right.
And that blame bled through to the rest of the family, which ended up splitting the entire family apart. So without spreading too much about the show, but you just get a chance to see how when you can get caught up in that system at such an early age, it's devastating, and it's not good for both black and brown young men.
And what else I think it brings to the light, I think even more that just the corruption that's out there.
Oh, yeah.
And that will, it'll probably always be there. Everybody that is in a position of power isn't going to do things the right way. Everybody's not built like that. So I think that even for me was pretty heavy as well. But of course, we hear about it all the time and we see it all the time. But just the way they played it out in this movie, it was just thrown in your face so often and so strong. It was like, man, they really just did these boys in,
and again,
man.
it was 1989.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not like, ooh,
Right,
man,
yeah.
River, like it's the
Right.
slave days, bro. This is
Right.
1989.
Yeah.
Like, we're supposed to be an advanced civilization in 1989,
Right, yeah,
right?
it's
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying? It was America, the home of the free, land of the brave, all created equal. We all had equal rights. We could vote. Everything was supposed to be on par, right?
Right.
But we see that it was not. It was not equal. We see the kind of justice that black and brown people receive and poor people receive,
Right.
man, and the treatment that you receive, and how it just completely destroys families for generations at a time. And this just happened to be one that was documented and seen. And how many hundreds and thousands of stories like this are out there where these kids are just, or these men or women are just locked in prison and because they didn't have the right legal counsel, or because the system was set up and rigged against them to be stuck in jail. It happens all the time, man. And really the whole entire miniseries is overwhelming, and it was very well done. And it's the executive producer is Robert De Niro and Oprah Winfrey. So they're behind.
I didn't know that. All right.
That was
Okay.
big time. And the actual producer is Ava DuVernay, and she's one of the big time up and coming producers in Hollywood right now. She did Selma, A Wrinkle in Time, and the documentary called 13th, which is about the 13th Amendment, which is another really strong documentary you guys need to watch on Netflix if you get a chance. But definitely get out there and see how they see us. It'll explain a lot for you people if you haven't, really been in tune with what's going on in America, with our judicial system, with our legal system, how it's not always fair, not always equal. And you'll also get an opportunity to see, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about this, is that, back in 1989 when this was going on, and this was such a big deal because it was a young white woman who was raped and beaten like savagely in the park. She really was beaten. It was a horrible thing. But Donald Trump came out at the time when he was just a real estate mogul. I put the air quotes up, mogul.
Right.
And really set out to have these boys executed in real life. He put out ads in the New York Times saying that they should bring the death penalty back and give these 14, 15, 16-year-old boys the death penalty for this act that later they were all exonerated for. Even after they spent decades, 5 to 6 to 13, 15 years in prison, Donald Trump wanted to have them executed. And to this day, even though they've been cleared by a confession of the rapist, I know I'm getting ahead with spoilers. There was a confession and DNA evidence that exonerated all of them. We still have never gotten an apology about this from either the prosecutors, the authorities, or the president of the United States who called for them to be murdered. So, again, this is a great miniseries. It'll take you through the emotions, the myriad of emotions that you could ever possibly have.
Be prepared.
But it is very good. I recommend it highly. True, before we get out of here, though, I want to do something, man. And I actually believe that you brought this to my attention originally, man. It's been a long time since we did the blank stare news, man. So Before we get out of here, there's a blank stare news item that we came across over this past week. And if you're not familiar with the blank stare news, it's a story, a news story, or maybe something that somebody told you or you overheard or you read about it online, that it just made you have this blank stare come across your face. The words couldn't even come out of your mouth, and you heard the music in the background and just like... That's what the blank stare news is. Now, True, do you know which one I'm talking about? 'Cause I know we share a lot of stories, man.
I think you do. Talking about the one with the teacher?
Is the principal.
Oh, yeah.
It was the principal. There's the principal of a Louisiana Catholic high school who has recently resigned from his position. Now, why would he resign? He was a young guy, relatively young guy, 47 years old. Up and coming guy. You're the principal of a very prolific Catholic school down in Louisiana. And he was on a field trip to Washington, D.C. with some students and abruptly retired when he got back home. Well, the reason why he retired is because while he was on this field trip with the students to Washington, D.C., he visited a strip club. I'm sure in Chocolate City.
I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
And but that's the problem. As you said, I'll pay for it. His problem was he decided he didn't want to pay for it. So he got into a little kerfuffle. Michael Camo was his name. He was arrested early on Friday of, I think whatever it was, last month, at Archibald's Gentleman Club in downtown D.C. And he didn't want to pay his bill. He was drunk and didn't want to pay for what the services that he was getting. Mm. And here's the kicker, man. This is the part that I didn't read the first time when you sent it to me.
You're right.
He got arrested. He was on a student field trip at the strip club, but he was with his dog, man.
With his dog inside of the strip club?
He had his service dog with him when he was arrested.
Oh, hell no.
True. What do you think about the principal that got arrested on the school field trip, man, at the strip club?
To be honest, T,
yeah, let's be honest.
After curfew, right?
Yes.
After you put the kids to bed, and because I was recently just on a field trip to D.C. and we did a New York tour, and we did,
yeah, that's right.
It did all the museums and the 9/11 museum. We did the Holocaust museum and all that. It was a long day, right? Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, you put the kids to bed. You want to blow off some steam. It's been a long day. You need to relax.
I get that.
So if that's what you choose, me and the wife, we chose just to go to the hotel bar.
Yeah,
just have a couple drinks.
I think we are comparing apples and oranges.
No,
here.
Everybody's different. I'm saying he may want to go unwind at the shake joint. So, and it's legal, right?
But that's not what I'm getting at. This is what I'm saying when I say apples and oranges, though. See, you and your wife, you guys are two private citizens. You a man and wife on a trip, a private trip, paid for by your own expenses. You grown. You do what you want to do. This is a man that is obviously in charge.
Was he on the company card, though? If he's on the company card, then that's a whole nother story.
Obviously, he wasn't on the company. He was not because he didn't want to pay for what he got.
Maybe that's why he didn't want to pay.
That's exactly why he didn't want to pay. He got a little tipsy, and so, from what I hear, what happens in a strip club, what they tell me is that, you
allegedly what they...
yeah, look, so these young ladies can be persuasive from what I hear, and they say, they come over and say, hey, baby, would you like a little dance? And he probably, being a naive Catholic school preacher, when she said, you want a little dance? He was probably like, yeah, of course, sure, yeah. Go ahead and shake it for me.
Why you change your voice though?
Because I'm trying to be a man. Look, I'm trying to think what a guy in Louisiana, a principal, would sound like. He'd probably say, oh yeah, sugar, go ahead and shake that thing for me. And so he probably ran back in his seat and thought she was just being, nice and doing a dance. And she just, song after song after song after song. And he didn't know.
Right.
And then she's like, I'm getting ready to go, baby. You owe me $1,700. And he was like,
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
And then he saw that bill and was like, nah. So then he called Big Suge from the corner, you know, Big Suge, the bouncer. And Suge was like, yo, you better come up out that money, man. You owe Cinnamon $1,700. Allegedly, I'm just guessing it now.
Right.
But that's what I think happened, True. And I think like if you're in charge of other folks' kids, you representing the school, you out on an official trip, man, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Even after curfew?
Even after curfew.
After they safe and they tucked in, and then you got the security on their floor so they can't leave the room, and then you still, you still an adult, you can go and do adult things after that.
No. Hell no. No, you in charge of kids, man. There's no way you could do that. Would you? Look, so let me ask you this then. If it's your kids in it's the 6th grade, and they go on a trip to D.C., and the dude that's chaperoning them puts them to bed and is out, goes to the booty club. Right. You good with that? Oh, your kid got at midnight, your kid has an allergic reaction. He's panicking. What do? We can't find Principal Skinner. He down there at the booty club, not paying his bill.
Well, to be honest, he could be anywhere. I mean, he doesn't have to stay at the hotel. So what I'm saying is there's protocol, obviously. There's security. There's got to be other people there. He can't control, of course, 100 kids.
He's the boss.
So what I'm saying is that he should be on call and be able to come back, but he does not have to stay at the hotel.
But he was drunk. He can't come back. He's drunk and he's in jail.
The only place he went wrong is not paying his bill. If that man would have paid his bill, this story would never be out. If that man would have had a great time.
So from now on, fellas, all you need to know is just pay your bill. Avoid all the
pay your bill. If you're going to do it, don't get caught.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Warren Sapp.
Oh.
Pay your bill, man. Don't get caught, man. Hey, but that is a hell of a story. I've been in a situation like where I've looked at the bill, like not at the strip club though. Like
I was about to say, you
No.
been in that same situation, T?
No,
I thought I knew you, bro. Damn.
No. Like, listen, here's a side story. But no, I'm gonna just go ahead and give that real quick before we get off the story. And meander into something else real quick. That is definitely the blank stare news story of the night. Now, before you put me out there, like I'm just frequenting the booty clubs, man, of Seattle on, when I get free time and spending my money and not wanting to pay my bill.
Yeah, after hours, you good after hours, see?
That's not.
You grown, so, hey, man, I can't judge.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear what you're talking about. But now, that's not what I was referring to. I was referring to sometimes you get a bill and you look at it like, are they for real with that? So I'm going to just tell you this quick story before we get out of here. Is this past weekend, it happened to me, man. Like, I had a gift certificate that I've been holding on to for about a year, right? And it was a pretty nice gift certificate, $100. $100. So I'm like, okay, it's about to expire. I need to go use this $100. It's free money.
Right.
So we said, hey, come on. I rounded up the crew. I was like, hey, let's go to dinner. Let's use this $100. I'm thinking in my head, free $100. We get to the restaurant. I forget that I have 4 kids, right? And my kids they're not slouches when it comes to the menu, bro.
Right.
They looking at the menu. My daughter's like, oh, I'll have the diver scallops. Oh, we'll have the seafood platter.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have the crab cakes. I'm like, really? That's what we're gonna do? Oh,
word.
How about this? And now, and in this particular night, I'm trying to be the good dad, right? I was like, come on, everybody, let's go to dinner. Dad's taking everybody out to dinner. Got gift cards. We get there, and like I said, oh, can we get dessert? Yeah, let's get dessert. Everybody else is getting dessert, Dad. All right, let's go. Man, they brought me the bill, bro. My joint was sitting at like 400 and some change. After the gift card.
After the gift card, okay.
After the gift card, man. So I was like the principal. I was like the Louisiana principal. I was like, look, I was looking at just like, hey, somebody going to come tell me something about this bill, man.
I didn't order this. I didn't do this. Yeah.
I didn't tell them.
This wasn't me. You're right, yeah.
I told them no crab. They put crab on my shit. No, but that's a whole nother thing, man. I don't want to be anybody's blank stare news. So
Pay your bills,
I
man.
pay
That's
my
what it comes
bill.
down to.
I pay my bill. True. It was good to be back in here, man, after a week
Definitely.
off, man. Man, we got to
Definitely.
get back into it. More crazy stuff is going to happen this next week. I have no doubt about it. So we'll stay tuned and see what's happening out there in the world. In the meantime, you can catch us online, social media. True, I know you know all the places where we're at.
Barbershop Show and Barbershop Show _
Wait a minute. Barbershop Show _ is on Twitter.
Yeah.
And Barbershop
Shop
Show is on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find us at both places, man. Lots of crazy stuff happening out there. We'll post some of these stories we talked about on there as well. So make sure you stay tuned. Until next time, it's T Holla and True. It's the Barbershop.